Hello, enjoy Portal Games, and this is another episode of Portal Games vlog. In this episode I'm talking about the coronavirus, a huge influence on our industry, and I'm talking about the playtesting Detective Season 1, and we are showing new product storage box for Imperial Settlers, so go, watch it! So the hot and terrifying news of the last weeks is of course coronavirus, and is a serious problem for the whole planet basically. But I wanted to discuss how it affects or may affect the board games industry, because it is much more serious than you could expect for our hobby, for our games, for our conventions, etc. So the first thing that happened already was, of course, I guess you heard about this, in January the manufacturers did not come back to work for the, I think it was 10 days, so additional 10 days of a holiday time in China. It's not an awesome holiday, it's epidemic, but so all the manufacturers in China were closed for more than expected, and since then of course delays, all the products, all the schedule was just destroyed. And what we knew back then in January about this situation, and now it develops even more, like as far as we know, as far as we get information from our partners, partners in China, still some manufacturers are not operating in a full capacity. Still some of them are closed, some of them are working in just half time, some are just trying to catch up with the production. So this is not the case that the manufacturers were closed for 10 days and now everything works perfectly, like in Germany, tip-top, and they are catching up. No, there is still mess, and of course it's not the fault of those people, this is a fault of the whole problem in China. So delays, but this is just the beginning. The news from yesterday, and that's why I decided to record this video. The news from yesterday is that the biggest board game convention in Italy just announced that they are delaying the convention, they're moving the date, and it will be held in May instead of April as planned earlier. So the biggest board game convention delayed. What does it mean for the board gamers? That means that all those people who are planning to go there and having these reservations on the hotels, lots of demands, lots of changes, scheduling, etc. But what does it mean for the industry in Italy? We had a couple, and I mean a dozen of publishers in Italy who had planned a release of the game at this convention during the biggest board game convention in Italy. And now this convention is moved a few weeks later in the year. And now what you are going to do? Are you going to get these games in your warehouse and make them sit in the warehouse for a couple of weeks so you can make this actual release at the convention? Or you are going to release these games without convention, without this big amazing premiere? Like, this is a serious problem. So for you it may be just small pieces of news, some small country in Europe, Italy, convention, move the date. It is a big problem for all publishers, board game publishers in Italy. They had planned releases, and now they have to reschedule the whole marketing plan, the whole production plan, everything. And moving on, Poland, we have the biggest convention here in Poland called PyrCon. As for now, official statement from PyrCon is this convention is going to happen, no changes, no panic, everything will be fine. I'm not so sure. First of all, for us, for Portal Games here in Poland, we already know that the release that we planned for this convention, the game that we were planning to release at this biggest Polish convention, will not happen because of delay in China. We have the information the game will not make it to the PyrCon. So we had to change our plan for this convention. We had to change our release, and therefore we had to change the size of the booth. Once, because we had a less spectacular release, so we don't need such a big booth. And secondly, we are afraid, we expect less crowds, less people going to the PyrCon, because there's so many young people who go for conventions and their parents will say, no, you're not going for no conventions, no cosplay this year. We are afraid of the coronavirus. There is a whole panic in Europe and in America as well. So many parents will not agree for their children to go for the convention. So we expect a lower crowds and therefore lower sales. So therefore we had to change the booth size, and for us this year PyrCon will be so much less epic, so much less spectacular than previous years. So it is affecting us in big time. And now the biggest question, the biggest piece of news that may happen, and I hope it will not happen, is GenCon releases. So we have so many companies who want to release a game for GenCon. And I'm not even asking and debating if the GenCon will be cancelled because of the coronavirus. Now we are talking that GenCon will happen, but what's for us, for the publishers? If we print the games at China, and now we see the whole mess in China and all these delays and destroyed schedules, etc. And if I am a small independent publisher and I had my booth scheduled, I paid already for this booth, and now I'm hearing from China that my game will not make it for GenCon, for me, for the small publisher, this is like end of the world. Like I had prepared the release for the GenCon, I paid my booth, I paid my hotel, I paid my travel expenses, and I will not have a game. Because back then, in January, the whole schedule was destroyed in China. So I guess we will see, and I hope I'm wrong, but I guess we will see a ton of news in upcoming weeks about the delayed releases. The games that were supposed to be released at GenCon will be moved to September, October, maybe Essen. And basically this big news we know from TV, coronavirus, that is dangerous for all of us, is affecting our industry, and for the industry so small like ours, because it's a small industry, for small companies, indie companies, it is the case of being alive or being bankrupt, because if you don't have a product for GenCon, it may be game over for you. So fingers crossed we will survive somehow. Fingers crossed that this whole thing will be stopped by smart doctors who will find a cure for this disease. But at this point, this is a dangerous situation for the whole planet, but it is also a very dangerous situation for the whole industry, for the board games industry, because of these delays, moved releases, cancelled conventions, moved conventions. Things happen. Let me know in the comments what you see in your countries, what's happening in Czech, what's happening in France, what's happening in Germany, what are the news from America about the GenCon or Origins or on other big conventions, and if people who are doing these conventions are considering cancelling them this year. Thank you. See you later. So we are after another run of playtesting detective. As you know, the cases in the season 1 are a little bit simpler, shorter, and this week we announced the themes of these cases. One of these cases takes place in a theme of the Italian mafia and fight for the control over the city. And funny enough, one of my playtesters, when the game started, said that he had his SAT test when he finished high school. With I have it here written. His SAT test was the strength of the family ties on the base of the Puzzo literature. So he was super well educated for this case. It was lots of fun when they were solving the case, and he was giving us all these clues and anecdotes about the things from the literature that he read when he was younger. So this is absolutely not important anecdote about the playtesting, but I wanted also to show you what exactly means playtesting detective, and I have it in front of me right here. This is how much paper notes, conclusions are after every single test. So I'm listening how players are playing. They are reading all the cards aloud, so I can hear at what moment they get, oh, that's interesting, when they are bored, what's funny, what's not funny. So every single card is read aloud, and then I'm making note, change this sentence, add this paragraph is confusing, they didn't understand that, from this card they get these wrong conclusions, we have to change it. So every single test, it is lots of notes, and every single card is changed once again and once again till we have this final version of the text on the card that goes to translation, to editors, etc, etc. So this is a small update about the playtesting detective. Yesterday I recorded for my vlog from this very place. A short commentary about the coronavirus and how it will influence the board game industry and our whole community. And today I received the email from UK Games Expo, the people who are running the convention. So just a short update because it's happening right now. So what they say, dear exhibitor, because Portal Games is exhibitor and we are having a booth at UK Game Expo, we invite you. We are going to have the Rise of the Empires, hopefully dig deeper, the expansion for Detective, and Joanna, because Joanna Kijanka is going to UK Game Expo. She will have with her Barbarian Hordes for the reviewers and influencers, so we are invited. But back to the bad news. So this one is not that bad. So dear exhibitor, team at UK Game Expo wanted to reassure you that at this time the UK Game Expo is proceeding as planned. We will continue to monitor the advice provided by the World Health Organization and Public Health England and are having a briefing with our venues, the NIC and the Hilton, on a regular basis. So it is business as usual. If anything changes at any time, we will inform you. Richard and Tony also want to emphasize that we guarantee to refund your exhibition fees in the event that we are cancelled. So as you can see, first of all, kudos to UK Game Expo that they are communicating with the publishers, because we don't know what will happen. So yeah, I really appreciate their being very open and transparent. They are having these meetings with the World Health Organization, which is what I said. This is a serious big problem, and it was very interesting. They assure us that if the event is cancelled, we will not pay for the booth and everything will be cancelled. So this is happening. And there's small news, small for you, but it is important here in Poland. The convention called Gratislavia in Polish city Krakow, very important, very famous city, just got cancelled. So we got the information that they decided that they will not run this convention this year, and there was press release sent yesterday in the morning that Gratislavia is cancelled this year. So this is happening once again, the same. Fingers crossed, it will not affect us too much, but this is a serious problem. And this is happening. Last preparations for Gamma Trade Show. I hope we will make it, because as always it is last moment preparations, but we hope to announce and reveal a couple of new products during the Gamma Trade Show next week, which actually is this week as you are watching it. So it is next week for me, timetable of this thing. So of course we will show to all the retailers Detective Season 1. We are just making a mock-up box so all the retailers can see this product. We will show them, let me grab it here, Barbarian Hordes, new expansion for Empires of the North, already in a very final stage of the play testing. The Rise of the Empires, do we have a Rise of the Empires here? No Rise of the Empires. So we will not present the Rise of the Empires apparently. We will present, and we have a brand new cover. So this is the first time you are seeing it. We have a brand new cover for the Dig Deeper from Rob Davio. Hopefully released during the UK Game Expo. Great case from Rob Davio. Absolutely strong recommendation. Great stuff. So this is a standalone scenario for Detective. We also have something like that, which I'm not going to spoil before Gamma, but you can see that the layout looks a little bit Robinson Crusoe-ish. Yes, we will announce something for Robinson Crusoe, and we will even announce a little bit more. Everybody's here preparing the mock-ups, so hopefully the package will make it to America. Hopefully we'll be ready to announce new products this Gamma week.
Joanna Kijanka just playing tutorial for Stronghold Undead. You almost designed this game, come on, you don't need to play tutorial.
Come on, I don't know if people will get it. it's Jana from Polda Games, and today I wanted to present you the storage box for our Imperial Settlers game. And in the box you will find two inserts with, in the first one, place for all the factions with separate places for all the expansions, place for your faction boards, including the faction boards that normally you would find in the puzzles. Here you will have implemented as the whole pieces. Also, you will find the tray for your resources, and of course this is the prototype version. You will find place for all the components that you normally use, and also place for all the other fractions that you may use in the expansion ones that you will just bring on the table from those. And in the second insert you will find the place for all the cards from additional factions. Also the all place for common decks, also separated by the expansions. Place for some promo cards, promo tiles, the solo mode cards, and also there is a place for the new faction that
Say what?
place for the new faction that will be available later on. And also all sections also have this one pocket that will implement the cards from this new faction in the future. And thank you for watching.
So guys, finally we can not only present but also start selling the beautiful Imperial Settlers storage box with extra content. If you are an English player, I recommend to buy the plus version with not only the box, the inserts, but also the rulebook with FAQ included and all the expansions and the promos. But if you are not, you have a different version, different edition of Imperial Settlers, not in English, you can go and buy a little cheaper version without these extras, but still you get that what is most important, so the inserts and the box. So a perfect way to store your game.
Once again, update about the coronavirus, and we started this vlog and I recorded the predictions what may happen this year with coronavirus early this week, and during the whole week more news were coming up, and now this is the final update for this vlog because we are just closing the vlog. Simon Expo, the big show for Simon company cancelled, and they sent a press release that they are not doing Simon Expo this year, and this weekend Gamma Trade Show, the biggest industry event in America. All retailers, distributors, manufacturers, vendors, publishers all meeting and doing B2B meetings. Send a press release with information on which partners will not be joining Gamma Trade Show this year, and the list is terrifying. Alliance, game distributor, one of the biggest distributors in America, cancelled. Gamma Trade Show, GTS Distribution, one of the 5 biggest distributors in America, cancelled. Lion Rampart Imports, the biggest Canadian distributor, cancelled the Gamma Trade Show, Southern Hobby Distribution, and Upper Deck, and Wizards of the Coast, and Flying Frog Productions, etc., etc. Gamma Trade Show will be like never before. So many people decided to not go to Reno to meet with the partners. It's terrifying. And once again, on a bigger picture, we are not now discussing how it will influence the whole planet. We are not even discussing if this is good to cancel Gamma Trade Show. We are not discussing if this is good to cancel Simon Expo. We are just discussing this virus will influence this industry tremendously. And we see more and more announcements with more and more events being cancelled and released, pushed and moved. Terrible time for the whole industry and for the whole planet, of course. I hope next week in the vlog I will have some more good news, because this one was terrifying, but we are archiving what's going on with industry. So what's going on, that's going on. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Portal Games vlog. Looking forward for the next episode and new topics. And for now, please subscribe. Please tell your friends about this video. Please help us share the news about this video. And I don't know. Thank you. See you next week. Bye bye.